Hello, welcome back to another episode of Modded Kerbal Space Program. Last time, I put a satellite in orbit, and Bobby came back from the mun and blew up parts of his science.
I lost some science.
You did.
I am debating. I'm debating what to do next. I was able to recover some of the science. Like I got. Well, actually, I don't have any mystery goo. Not a No, I guess a thermometer didn't survive. Oh no, wait. Temperature scan didn't survive. Mobile materials bay didn't survive. I could get that. That's probably like a good chunk of, probably a good chunk of science.
Well,
I was thinking about just orbiting Minimus. That was my next. That's my next. Actually, I'm gonna go for Minimus. That's what we're gonna do here today.
Yeah, why don't you do that? I'm gonna work on launching the rest of the satellites.
Okay.
We've got 4 more to launch, I think, roughly.
Yep. And then I want to get a. Well, yeah, we'll see what we can. We'll see what happens. So, something happens. Oh, there we go. Okay. I figured out. I think. Oh, that is definitely the wrong button. What is that?
What are you doing?
I don't know. No, I had. There's kind of like a bug, and it's with DMP, I think, where like remember how like my UI would like hang and I wouldn't be able to click on anything.
Sure.
Yeah, it's related to DMP, and I just had it, and now I can go back in like places like the VAB and assemble me a rocket that I can actually fly. This is the rocket that got me to the Mun, I believe, yes. So, me and my buddy, Bilby!
How much Delta V do you have in that?
You and your math and science and engineering requirements.
Or, the big thing that tells you how much Delta V is in it.
Hey, you can hear me just fine, right?
Uh-huh.
I just realized that, like, normally I can hear myself, and I can't. So
Well, I can hear you, so don't mess with it.
I'm not going to mess with it. I've got 5,500 Delta V.
5,500.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that's enough to get you to min-miss, but I could be wrong.
Oh, here, let's see here. What happens? Let's do... What is... My thrust to weight ratio here is 3. So I still got some decent thrust out of there. So we will just add... When in doubt, add more fuel.
Yeah. Especially if your thrust to weight ratio is 3.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Oh, those are the big ones. I want the big ones. I just want... There we go.
This thing I'm flying, this satellite thing, it works really well. It's just like probably like the least efficient way to get this thing up there. Because you pretty much have to launch straight up. Otherwise, it probably won't fly.
Alright, and I think... Are my struts... My struts are kind of... They're... I'll call that connected. Even though it looks kind of weird, they're connected to the fins. And my Delta V is 6,000. And my thrust to weight ratio is only 2.4 on my first stage. Let us take a look at our operating envelope.
6,000 should be enough, I would think.
Actually, now my operating envelope, remember last time it was like pulling slightly in one direction? Now it's dead even. Go figure. I don't know. Physics. What are you going to do? I'm just going to keep it like that. This is going. This rocket is a beast to turn in its first stage, so I'm not even going to attempt to turn it in its first stage.
Talking of rockets that are a beast to turn in its first stage, this thing is ridiculous.
All right, I got some thermometers on here. All right, let's go to Minimus and get ourselves some science. I'm glad I checked just before I took off.
What'd you forget?
I forgot. I didn't even listen to the thermometer. I forgot to add more like supplies.
Well, you took those life support cans to the MUN, didn't you?
Yeah, they didn't save on my rocket.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say those are like 65 days worth of life support.
Yeah, I noticed they were missing. So that would have been for a bad time. I want food container gives you all three, right? Or no?
You need a life support container and a life support waste container.
Yes, there we are. Life support container. Or wait, no, I don't want large. I want small. Life support. Attach the parachute back on top of that. Let's see here. Yep. Now we're ready to launch. Oh, actually, another change that I made to this ship. I added
You did what, huh? You gotta finish your thought there, buddy.
Is there a heat shield under here too? No, it's just a coupler. God bless it. Yeah, that's a heat shield, right? Underneath the science junior.
Yes, okay, let's see science. Here.
No,
we've got an orbit.
I'm extending. Yeah, that's a heat shield. I'm adding another. I swapped out another fuel tank here. That'll bring me up to 6600 delta V, which definitely will get me there with plenty of fudge factor. Excellent. But we're playing in science mode, so money doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna name this the Mintaka LR for long range.
All right, so we've got an orbit. Now I need to bring our orbital period up to 3 hours. The first one, well, technically the second one, is the easiest to launch because it doesn't matter where you position it.
All right.
I left the fairings on because this thing's actually more stable to fly with the fairings on. It's less wobbly.
And as soon as... Well, that is weird. My screen... My actual, screen where the game should be is gray, but the preview screen in Open Broadcaster actually shows the actual game. And, I am clearly controlling the game according to Open Broadcaster.
So you're breaking things.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to restart, unfortunately.
Probably.
Let's just try a quick Alt-Tab, maybe, even though that, never fixes anything.
Okay, there we go. 3 hours.
Aha!
Now we can ditch the fairings. It's going to leave for a lot of debris up here, but we'll deal with that later. All right, so now let's wait a second for the fairings to get out of the way. Let's deploy our solar panels, which I actually remembered to put on a action group this time. And then we're going to rotate around so we get as many of those solar panels in the sunlight as we can get.
Ugh.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Just waiting through the load screen.
All right, that should do it. All right, and then we want to
Yeah, Bob and Bill are staring at me again.
target, mission control, activate. We need to target active vessel and activate. And then one of these needs to target the stationary ComSat. And I think I forgot to, on the stationary one, activate the omnidirectional, which is actually really annoying to click on. There we go.
I'm resisting the urge to, like, browse something while this is loading.
Yeah, you should probably resist that urge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's see. We are going to actually we're just going to stay coupled, and then we're going to warp out to our apoapsis, and we will decouple out here to bring back Aldbert and hope he survives. All right, here we go. Decouple that. And then let's switch over to this guy. And we need to rename this to ComSat 1. Excellent. One done. More to go. All right, let's find our retrograde. And bring Aldbert back. Hopefully without killing him, but there's no guarantee. $40,000 should be good enough. Let's just click somewhere down here, add a maneuver, and then warp to the maneuver.
Okay.
You back in?
I'm back in. Let's launch ourselves a rocket. Is it still out on the launch? Is it on the launch pad, maybe?
All right, we're coming down in. We'll have to kill off our speed if we want to keep Albert alive, because these inline cockpits don't re-enter very well. But we need to get closer to the atmosphere before we do that. A lot closer, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just realized I forgot another thing on my ship once this loads.
What'd you forget?
Solar panels.
How did you not actually click the save button when you went to the MUN?
I didn't save the ship, apparently, and it wasn't on my last. Autosave ship, so.
I'm like hitting that save button on the ship like every 2 seconds when I'm doing anything with the ship. Alright, we're coming in really fast here, but we have a lot of Delta V left. So we should be able to kill quite a lot of our speed. So that's good. We might be able to save Aldbart.
What's wrong with Albart?
Nothing's wrong with Aldbart. He's just flying a ship that's that has a 50% chance of killing him.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we got that on there, and now we need the solar panels.
We're starting to get really low into the atmosphere here, so we're really going to need to separate soon.
Oh, and I got my new solar panels too. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're definitely going to deploy these guys.
All right. The stage is almost done. There it goes. Stage, fire. We have like 500 meters per second left. Actually, I don't think we're going to get really any reentry effects here. I think I've managed to slow us down enough that it shouldn't really be a problem. We're already under 1,000 meters per second.
All right, and let's see here. We're 17 minutes into this recording, and I'm finally launching my first rocket. Normal Kerbal recording for Robbie. All right, Calicott Kerman, you are excited to be in the rocket, and I am excited to blast you off into a whole hell of a lot of space.
All right, we're coming back down. Gonna land in the desert, I think. Looks that way. We have quite a ways before we can deploy our parachutes yet. We got a little slight reentry effect, but not anything. No burning. 7,000 meters. 6,000 meters.
Keep her steady. Come on, we got a little bit of wobble going here, which, you know, willing to live with.
2,000 meters. And
that's a lot of wobble.
Shoots. Albert, you lived. Congratulations.
There's an awful lot of inappropriate throbbing going on here in this rocket.
That's unfortunate.
I'm going to turn SAS off in hopes that the wobbling stops. There we go. Okay, that seemed to fix it. Good job, guys.
Sometimes that SAS can really induce the wobble because it's making like minor corrections, and those minor corrections just kind of amplify. Yeah. All right, let's recover Albert here, and we get a launch again. See if I can get 2 in this episode. Next, done.
Because now I gotta remember I'm flying with no SAS on.
Save and launch. Now we gotta do roughly the same thing. Not quite, but similar. SAS on, throttle up, and lift off.
Alright, let's try to correct our orbit here. And gain a little bit of altitude. We'll just max our thrust out here on this stage. Up a little bit more. We're a lot more stable now.
So this is my I don't know that I really talked about this rocket design before, but this is my makeshift heavy lifter, really. These are skipper engines, which with all of this fuel don't really have enough thrust to weight ratio, which is why there's these little radial mounted ones on the outside. And that just basically puts it over a 1 thrust to weight ratio, which obviously the higher you go in the atmosphere, the more you get because you burn off fuel. And I'm using some parts tweak scale because we have the mod tweak scale installed to make this like big tri-coupler here and these bigger fairings because we don't have the bigger fairings unlocked yet.
Alright, I'm gonna wait till my apoapsis is about at 100 kilometers here, where I kind of try to catch up to it, so I don't get a crazy elliptical orbit.
I'm going to continue to launch basically straight up until we get higher in the atmosphere here, and then I'm going to start to turn over. With this design, if I turn over any earlier, it really doesn't like to do that. But it has like excessive amounts of delta V, so...
Mm-hmm. And I'm not really happy with my angle of orbit, but I think we can make this work. I'm just going to add a maneuver node here so I can warp to it.
I think part of the problem with the stability of this ship is that some of my struts have gone missing.
Alright, and just gonna time warp a little bit faster here. I'll let Calcott keep the ship nice and level.
Okay, we're going to come up to our apoapsis and then we're going to circularize, hopefully. Wait till we're a bit closer, maybe like 30 seconds out before we start a burn. Hopefully I can keep this thing kind of pointed at the horizon. We'll see. It is a little bit unwieldy. Honestly, I could probably ditch this lower stage, but it still has quite a bit of delta V left in it, so I'd rather just use it. Alright, let's start our burn here. Try and stay on 90 if we can.
That is a nice circular orbit if it wasn't only like, you know, parallel to the equator. Although, did I luck out and it's, yeah, no, not really. Actually, it may have been even worse. Like, did I luck out and get it similar to the path of Minmus? Oh god, no, I'm 14 degrees off.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. So here is our descending node.
Okay, I'm going to stage this now. There's not much left in it to send that stage crashing back into the planet, and we'll get the rest of the way on our upper stage here. Should be fairly simple. 60, 70, 80. Close enough. All right, let's check out our orbit. All right, so we want to do opposite of what we already did. So we want to come around to like here and add our maneuver. To bring our orbit out. I'm going to say right about there, probably. We're going to mostly ignore the maneuver, but because we don't really need to pay attention to it once we get to the mark. We're just going to use it to give us a general idea of where we need to burn and how long we're going to need to burn for. All right, we're pretty much on the mark here. Okay, right about here, I guess. We don't have to be precise, really. I'm going to get rid of the maneuver. And we're going to start the burn, and we're going to bring our orbital period up to 3 hours again. How's your trip coming?
Not too bad. I am just like, I think the best way is for me to align my orbit with, or align my orbitable plane with that of, I want to wait till 20 seconds. To align my orbital plane with that of Minimus first and then attempt to intercept it.
Yeah,
given how off I am.
Yeah, you don't. It's generally best to, at least with Mimis, to try and align your plane first.
Yeah.
Just because of how off Mimis's orbital path is.
And it would help if I actually targeted the maneuver node as opposed to just, thrusting my engines up in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, that could help. All right, 2 hours and 3 hours, 3 minutes. Close enough. It doesn't have to be precise. All right, so let's see. We need to get rid of the fairings. We'll wait a minute for those to go.
All right, 1.2 degrees. Oh, hold on. I forgot to extend my solar panels.
That could be important.
All
right, let's extend our solar panels. And then we need to, again, target mission control. Active vessel. Stationary ComSat. And ComSat 1 this time.
All right.
As well as activating our omnidirectional one. Let's turn this guy. Let's turn this so that it is going to get as much sun as possible here, I guess. Something like that, probably. Oh, geez, I can't stop coughing. Anyways, that's probably all right. Now we want to stage that, switch to it, and rename it if we can without a connection. There we go. ComSat 2, switch back. And let's warp out to our apoapsis. What's wrong?
Oh wait, I'm just trying to calculate an encounter. There we go.
All right. And actually, I think that'll do it for this episode. We'll pick back up with launching satellites and Bobby's trip around Minmus next time. So, if you like the video, click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time for more Kerbal Space Program. Thanks for watching. Bye.